Hello, friends. We're back again. Welcome to Fightful. It's September 25th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time for your TNA Impact post show. And I'm not alone this week, baby, because if I'm going to be bound to the depths of hell, I am going to bring one of my favorite people with me, and he'll happily oblige. SP3 is here. The other host on In the Weeds over on Fightful Overbooked. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. I am honored to fill in for the always great, always effervescent Cresta Star as she is away on her sabbatical, and be here with you, Joel, to talk some TNA. I don't usually watch TNA on Thursday night. I save it for my Friday mornings as I have some background stuff for work, but it was nice to kind of watch it, absorb it, take it all in as everybody else, as the fan base of TNA that watches this show watches it. So I'm excited to talk about it tonight. Especially the 20-minute segment on this show.
I'm excited because SP3, I don't know if you know this, but once we get our new deal here on this show, we will be the number 2 on Fightful. Once we get a new deal, I promise you. The Hump is number 1. Sean Ross Sapp, he's number 1. We know this. But Alex and Kate's, they've got all that money in the world. That's fine. But pockets, deep pockets, don't speak like the fans speak. And when we get that big deal, that big money syndication deal here on Fightful, this show, this TNA post show will be number 2.
So like next week, Sean Ross Sapp is filling in for Joel Pearl, and he's gonna also fill in for me, and we're gonna let him like win all the titles on this show. But we still deserve to be number 2 promotion, despite number 1 taking all our titles and filling in for us as hosts.
But don't worry, we'll be number 2.
We're number 2.
We'll wear that banner happily. We'll wear that flag for everyone. We're number 2. Speaking of number 2, leave yourselves a thumbs up on the video. I want more than 2 thumbs up. You have 2 of them. Use one of them to leave a thumbs up on the video. And while you're at it, subscribe to us here at Fightful, because we've got not only videos coming up every single day, whether it's an interview, it's a post show, it's content, it's something that you can watch here on this channel. It's free 99 to press that subscribe button. If you have some money and you're burning to spend it, why don't you go ahead? You can donate a super chat any amount, get your question or statement read on the air, or you can head over to humperchats.com and you can drop one there. I will be fielding those throughout the evening. And of course, Fightful Select is our lifeblood. It is the reason we exist. It's the reason we live. And it's the reason we can be number 2. The best $5.99 in the business, the best information. Matt Cardona, his contract status with TNA, he doesn't have a contract. That's over on FightfulSelect.com. And of course, tons more as we head into Victory Road and Bound for Glory and everything else that's going on in the wrestling world. Let's get right to it. SP3, Victory Road is tomorrow night. There will not be a post show, but this was the go home. Your general thoughts. Oh, we're not doing a post show because the show starts at 9 p.m. Eastern.
I know the reason.
Meanwhile, if you look on the video boards, it said it started at 8 p.m. Eastern. Sure.
Well, at least I got the graphic right at the bottom left-hand corner. You know, the most obvious place that people would see it. But yeah, as far as this show, this was a show. I think that the wrestling on the show was actually good. I thought that the Battle Royal was fun. I thought the opening tag was probably the best wrestled. They had the best wrestlers involved, and it was fast paced and had one of the best tag teams in TNA and 2 of the best singles wrestlers, X Division wrestlers out there. So I thought that was well as a good build up for Myron Reed versus Leon Slater at Victory Road. Main event was the special attraction. It was the hometown legend coming back to team with one of the current guys versus 2 of the current stars. So it worked and it functioned as it was. It was fairly entertaining for what it was trying to accomplish, so I can't really make any complaints about it. I just feel like the show was kind of let down by the promos and the angles and the storytelling on the show. The wrestling was good. It was not so much with the promo.
It was a paint by numbers show. Again, as you said, the wrestlers know how to wrestle, so they wrestle well. Not all of them. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but the wrestlers come and they wrestle. The lack of promos is one thing. I talk about this with Cresta frequently. You can tell when they're at the end of a taping when they do type of matchup for the end of their taping. It is very much this is the last match of the taping, send the crowd home happy, see you at the next show. That has been a staple of TNA, and once in a while, I'd love for them to change it up just because we're going into a special or a pay-per-view, whatever it is. Just do something different. Let people go home being like, oh, well, do a dark match where you send the people home happy, but end a taping differently. It's fine. But like you said, you had the legend, or however you wanted, the veteran coming back, teaming with one of the current top stars, having a match that we'll talk about. Is I thought Ken Anderson did pretty dang well for what he was up to, and just a solid main event. And I think it's going to have some interesting implications going into tomorrow night. We'll talk a little bit about Victory Road and preview that card towards the end, but you want to just start from the tippy top?
Let's do it.
Leon Slater and Cedric Alexander defeat the Rascalz, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Like you mentioned, Myron Reed, who's challenging for the X Division title. He is on commentary for this match. I promise I haven't been talking all day. That X Division title match is tomorrow night. Myron Reed, Leon Slater. Like you said, good back and forth, good match. The wrestlers know how to wrestle. I like that Slater and Alexander are becoming a more formidable tag team. They didn't start that way. They were having some issues off the top. Now they're starting to find their groove. I don't know how I feel about the X Division champion being kind of turned into a tag team wrestler as well. It feels like this is in service of Slater and Alexander going at it again, but they're going to team for now. It's fine. Swanton 450 gets the win. I do have to say this, though. It took way too long for Leon Slater to set up and do it. It made Trey Miguel look kind of silly. He had to lie there and sell and look dumb. And then he got the 450 out of the way. The Swanton 450 gets the win. It's a beautiful move, but you got to get it out faster. But otherwise, solid tag team match. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought all four guys worked well with each other. I'm totally fine with Leon Slater teaming with Cedric Alexander. I think that it's better for the ability of like the booker to book your champions in matches on television if you do have like this tag team partner, the standard tag team partner. You know, I can understand not being okay with how this tag team formed. That's one thing, but I'm totally fine with Cedric kind of being his tag team partner because it functioned to kind of build up the Myron Reed versus Leon Slater matchup without Myron Reed having to be in the match, because Myron Reed is also part of a bigger stable, so he can have his two stablemates in there in this matchup. And I thought that the Rascalz were really good in this matchup. Like, they just work seamlessly with one another. You could tell how much they've learned from the likes of like the Motor City Machine Guns and all the battles they had with them during their time in TNA, and they very fluid offense between the two of them when they do their double team. And you know, you don't see that a lot because a lot of the other companies don't always, you know, feature tag team wrestling. As of late they have, but as in general you don't usually see that. So I think that when it comes to double team offense, Rascalz is one of the best, so it was nice to kind of see them here. And like I said, I don't always watch TNA live and I don't always see the Rascalz, so I'm happy that I saw it tonight.
And they're always a very good tag team. Like you said, they're just a solid group. They know what they're doing. Myron Reed getting this title match tomorrow night is the right play. Myron, of course, he's not officially a part of TNA, but he's been part of the last few months. When Trey Miguel went down with his hernia before Slammiversary, they kind of brought in Myron, put some cards behind him, and he's proven himself, which is great. And of course, for him to come in and get a spotlight match against Leon Slater for the X Division title, it works. Put him on commentary, get him those reps. And of course, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz get to do what they do, which is do good tag team work. And then, of course, they announced that it's going to be a three-way at the countdown, right? Trey, Zach Wentz, and who was the third?
It's Trey, Zach Wentz, and Cedric Alexander.
Cedric Alexander. My God.
Yeah.
Probably should have opened up the TNA wrestling website.
You're probably right, because I was going to ask who you think that Leon Slater gets at Bound for Glory, because most of the champions you can kind of see who's in line, or the championship match has pretty much already been announced. Like the top 3 titles with the Knockouts World Title and World Tag Team titles have already been announced, but the X Division Championship, you don't know who's going to be facing whoever comes out of the matchup tomorrow. So you think it's Cedric Alexander?
No, I think they're doing Ultimate X, because a few weeks back, probably coming out of Slammiversary, they did a backstage with Leon Slater and Santino, and Santino said something along the lines of competition for the Rascalz and Jake something, and it sounded like they were all going to be in a match together at Bound for Glory, and to me that rings Ultimate X. They haven't done it in a while. It is a marquee match for TNA. That and Hardcore War being the and the tables match being like the 3 hardcore matches that you can do on the card. I think that's where they're going, but I still see Cedric Alexander long term, if he's sticking around, as one of those guys to go after Leon Slater again. Eventually someone's got to turn on somebody. That's just the way it goes, right? It's wrestling.
Yeah.
We'll see where
that's what most tag teams are put together to eventually break up and become single stars. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Cedric goes full on heel on Leon Slater. So that's interesting. Yeah, the X. I didn't think about the Ultimate X, but they did have that at Rebellion, which was 6 months ago. But TNA, they used to do this like every 3 months.
So I was gonna say, yeah, they do it. If they do it at Rebellion all the way to Bound for Glory, that's showing restraint for TNA.
Yes.
There was a time, like you said, where it felt like every 6 weeks we were bringing back Ultimate X. That was my favorite. And then we were just like, okay, but we're going to do the Knockouts Ultimate X. Yeah, but we're still doing Ultimate X. Yeah, but then we're going to do the Tag Team Ultimate X. Yeah, still Ultimate X. Yeah,
it's still Ultimate.
But then we're going to take those X's and we're going to put the Cruiserweight. We're doing it again. Stop it. Anyway, Chaza Sensital, thank you so much for the super chat. You're always here. We appreciate you very much. Oh, let's continue on. GM was backstage with Frankie Kazarian, Jake something real quick. Frankie Kazarian, I'm calling you out, buddy. If the TNA people are going to call out all the content creators and the news sites for using the old TNA logo, I'm doing it to you, Frankie. You were wearing the old TNA shirt where the yellow crosses through. You were doing it. You can tell me you were doing a throwback gimmick, but I don't believe you, Frankie. You know better. Anyway, he says Jake something will become something because he's now seen the light and he's going to win the international title tomorrow and take out Ken Anderson tonight. We'll talk about the main event in a bit. EY finds Santino, or Santino is crossing the street and EY walks up. I guess he's got an air tag in his pocket. Anyway, EY wants Henry, presumably because listen, if you didn't know any better, the answer for this as to why Eric Young wants Joe Hendry should have been Eric Young walking up to Santino and saying, where was Joe Hendry last Tuesday to put up for TNA? I want to fight him for the honor of TNA. And Santino being like, oh, that's a good idea. So let's put them together the match. But instead, it's going to be EY and Hendry because Hendry cost Eric Young a match last week. And Santino's a puppet and the purge is coming.
They have a perfect opportunity to tell a cool story with the fact that you're doing this whole TNA invasion, you're feuding with NXT, yet your former world champion, the world champion that lost the title to the WWE NXT wrestler, is seemingly going over to the other side without officially announcing it. It's like the slow burn breakup of like you're trying to make them break up with you before I break up. like you're trying to force them to break up with you before you break up with them type of move that Joe Hendry is doing with this whole thing. I think this would be a cool story, especially with Eric Young's character. You're absolutely right. Like Eric Young's character would work so well if he was the one that brought it up, but they're just having a feud about what's going on in TNA. Nothing to do with anybody and anything involving WWE.
Tuesdays don't exist.
Yeah,
Tuesdays just do not exist. Joe Hendry cuts a promo later, says Eric Young was a mentor to him, and then Joe got too successful and that upset Eric Young. So Eric turned to attacking people and turning his back on his own values and things that he preached. So we still believe. I mean, listen, I still believe that Joe Hendry's going to WWE at the end of the year. So really, what are we doing? You could just babyface Eric Young out of this. I swear to God, it would be okay.
I still believe that there's a clause in the TNA WWE contract that says that they can do this. Like, there has to be. It has to be at this point. Am I crazy to think that? Am I crazy to think that this is a part of the deal, that they could do this kind of process where they kind of weed you out of TNA and bring you over to WWE slowly but surely?
At least Jordan Grace wore her TNA gear on Tuesday, just to show a little bit of solidarity for her former brand. I don't know, man. The Joe Hendry thing is so funny just because he's there, but he's not there. It's like, welcome to NXT. Oh, but you still work for TNA. What?
No, they didn't say that. They don't say that. They act like they don't even act like that anymore. They used to act like that, but the last couple of weeks, especially since NXT Homecoming, when he was in the intro, and Bobby Roode's like, yeah, you know, now that you're on NXT, you should go for the NXT championship. And then he's on the show. They're talking about TNA Invasion, and then Joe Hendry shows up, and nothing's mentioned about him being a TNA wrestler. Like, they're acting like he is just part of the furniture now.
No, and that's kind of where I was going. Meanwhile, TNA is just like, you still got to work these dates, and Eric Young's probably gonna win. I assume they're just gonna beat Joe Hendry all the way until he's done.
And I don't think that.
You don't think so? You think
he's a WWE guy now?
I don't think they care enough. They got Mr. Iguana over there to put over instead.
Nope. I think he's a WWE guy now. Got to put him over. Got to put him over.
I think
he did his putting over. He put over Mustafa Ali for you. He put over Mike Santana for you. He was the one that took the loss to Trick in the main event of Slammiversary. No, we gotta maintain some type of equity with Joe Hendry, with our investment that we're taking from you.
You know what
we gotta have him win at Victory Road and Bound for Glory.
No. You know what you do? You have them lose it at Victory Road. That's fine. Have them lose at Bound for Glory. I don't care. When they do the inevitable TNA versus NXT multi-person match, he does one of two things. Wins the match for TNA and suddenly becomes Mr. TNA on his way out, or they do the big turn. The big turn that he joins the NXT group and everyone's just like, well, yeah. I mean, 6 months he hasn't been here.
They're like, that kind of made sense. That kind of adds up. He gets to live out his greatest dreams, because if you heard any interviews with Joe Hendry, he's always said he's a big Kurt Angle fan, so he can basically be Kurt Angle in the Invasion storyline.
But who's going to be the old Stone Cold? Carlos Silva's going to do weeks of trying to convince Mike Santana to come back.
He's like, I need the LAX Santana. I need the old Santana. I need the guy who saw a little kid get hit by a car. I need the guy who wrestled on wooden planks in New York City. I need the guy who wrestled with glass and staples and barbed wire. I need the old Mike Santana.
I like the part where you think Carlos Silva knows what happened in TNA in 2018.
No, this is probably Tommy Dreamer. This is probably Tommy Dreamer writing the script for him.
It's Santino.
Yeah, it's actually Santino cutting the promo. I needed the whole Santana.
And what does he call him? Mike Santana.
My Santana.
It's so bad. Oh God. Unfortunately, I can see it. Anyway, Victoria Crawford defeats Jody Threat. Not much to say here. Victoria Crawford's not a very good wrestler. That's all I have to say. I love Jody Threat. I think she deserves the world. The crowd was very much behind her. She's starting to find her footing as a singles competitor post tag team, post Spitfire. And Tessa returns and the crowd goes mild.
So, like, they don't want to do the Spitfire rivalry? Because I thought that's where we were heading. Because I understand, for now you could do Danny Luna and Indy until Masha, or if that's happening, or until we get past Victory Road at least, because Indy's in the TNA Knockouts World Championship matchup. But yeah, I don't understand why we're not doing Danny Luna versus Jody Threat. Why it seems like we're going towards Tessa Blanchard and Jody Threat now.
Which they've done before. They did that at the border brawl, which so many people.
Well,
watched.
that's fine. That
Tons.
it didn't happen. That's like telling me a match happened at a house show. It's like it didn't happen.
I mean, there were some people there to see it, right? Zone 5.
Just those people. Yeah, just those people.
Anyway, the Danny Luna Jody threat match does feel inevitable. I'm actually quite happy that they didn't rush to do a Spitfire, explodes type of feud. Danny turning heel and just kind of moving aside. Jody's putting it off as if she doesn't want to face her former tag partner. She doesn't want to. Something's got to force her hand, and that's either got to be Danny doing something disgusting enough to make Jody, come back and do the match, or they just don't do it. And I'm okay with them not rushing to it, because this gives both women an opportunity to establish themselves separately before they finally meet up in the ring and do whatever match or series of matches they do. There could even be a title involved. I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying Danny Luna is going to win the Knockouts World Championship, but she is certainly up first if and when Indy Hartwell wins the title as early as Bound for Glory. With Jody, yeah, they're going to go to Tessa. I assume Tessa's going to win if they do a match at Victory Road, and then whatever the match, I guess, against Gia Miller that they're going to potentially do. It could be a tag match too. That's the other side.
It seems, I think that's what they're setting up. Jody Thread and Gia, versus Tessa and Victoria.
Boy, but if they do it, my point of all this is Danny Luna going after Jody later on is, to me, the best case scenario. Give it a few months, wait until maybe the new year to get there.
Yeah, I'm fine with them, holding it off, because, they did face so many times during their whole story as tag team partners as well. So you can kind of, separate that, bring it more time in between their matches against one another. It's going to have a totally different dynamic because of the whole betrayal and everything that's going on with Danny Luna's heel turn. I know the angle they're going to do, though. They're going to have Lars come back. Lars is going to come back, try to talk some sense into Danny. Danny attacks Lars, and that finally gets Jody to fight Danny.
I don't think Lars is coming back. I think Lars is loves wrestling, but yeah. The System promo. Let's just move on from that. System promo. JDC's on the men, they say. I was wondering where he was for weeks, and then I realized he got married and he took some time off, so he was away for the taping. So congratulations to JDC and his new partner, or his new wife, or however they will say it. Anyway, he'll be at Victory Road, they said. Moose calls out Ali, says he can't win without Order 4, so why don't we just leave everyone in the back at Victory Road? Everyone's going to be left behind, just like the Rapture. And Moose, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this. Moose kept looking down throughout the promo. Was he reading his notes on the floor?
It did look like that.
Looked like he was, and there was an awkward cut when they went for. He said there's two things. He does number one, and then when they go to number two, it was a really awkward cut, as if he flubbed something and they had to go back and do it again. Something was going on with Moose. He was just go back and watch the promo if you're watching this now. After you watch us talk about the show, go back and watch the Moose promo with the System, and you'll be like, he's looking down at the floor. He's not an awkward talker. He's just, something's there. Maybe put the notes on, like, I don't know, Brian Myers' back or something next time. There just has to be something.
He put it on his sneakers or something. Maybe he did that. Maybe he. But yeah, I did put in my notes here. I was like, he must have had the notes, but he didn't get. He was worried that John Cena was going to point out that he had it on his wrist, so he put it somewhere else.
I mean, Ali responds later on in promo. He says he's tired, and I'm like, I get it.
Why did that promo need to follow the 20-minute segment, though? Like, that felt very long, too. And I like Ali and Order 4 on the mic and when they cut promos. But it was just like, dude, I just saw a 20-minute promo. I just had to sit through, like, a 3-minute commercial. And then you're talking for, like, 3 minutes. I was like, dude, this is, like, 30 minutes of the show. Just talking, yapping. Not really saying anything. At least Mustafa Ali accomplished something, because he actually, made it interesting. Their matchup added the stakes of that the winner gets the advantage in Hardcore War.
Yeah, I was a really big fan of making it an advantage match. If you're going to leave everyone in the back, which I'm sure isn't going to actually play out that way, at least you're going to have some stipulation to make this match a little bit more interesting and not just the expected schmaz finish that everyone had for Ali and Moose. There will be a winner, hopefully, and I'm sure someone will get involved, and there will be an advantage for Hardcore War. Good, easy, straightforward pro wrestling storytelling. I'm fine with that.
Of course, the heel has to win.
Of course,
don't try to be Triple H. Don't try to be Triple H. Triple H always try. Why does Triple H try to reinvent the wheel? I swear he's going to do it again. He's going to try to do it again. He's going to try to reinvent the wheel and try to get the babyface the event because he's going to do 2 war games. So he's like, oh, I can't have both war games with the heel with the event. I have to have one with the babyface with the event. And that's always the worst one because it never makes sense why war games the babyface has the advantage. So hopefully Ali figures out a way, probably Agent Zero, to get the win on tomorrow.
We love Agent Big Bill Zero on this channel. Mance Warner wins a 10-person battle royal, which is very funny because when the tapings when the spoilers came out, I was like, to what purpose does this serve? Because they never announced what the battle royal was for at the tapings. Yeah. So it just says Mance Warner wins a 10-person intergender battle royal. And you're like, good for him, I guess. And then tonight we found out that it was for the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. The winner of the Gauntlet gets number 20. The last eliminated is number 1, which is pretty traditional for Bound for Glory. They've been doing it like this for the last few years. So Mance Warner's number 20. Lang Lee was the last eliminated, so she will enter number 1. The other members who were in the Gauntlet were Mara Sade, Hometown Man, Lang Lee, Zaya Brookside, Matt Cardona, Ryan Nemeth, Rosemary, Killer Kelly, AJ Francis, to which I ask, is Rich Swann okay? That's an actual question I'm currently asking.
I thought because AJ didn't come out in like his traditional ring gear, I thought he was coming out to like introduce Rich Swann or something. But no, he came out. He cut a good promo. AJ Francis is just effortlessly entertaining on the mic, and he knows how to get heat from the fans. So he was really good on the mic before the matchup. It made sense why everyone else in the matchup, because he called them all broads and jabronis and jobbers, and then threatened to choke slam the shit out of Rosemary. That was awesome. That was an awesome payoff for this promo. See, I like promos. If you're gonna take more than 2 minutes to cut a promo, especially a live promo, you gotta have a point to it. That was a great point to it. That was a great exclamation point to it. The 20-minute promo did not have that, but AJ Francis promo did.
Yeah, it was nice to see him like go in and talk too much, but also talk too much to the point where when he was dumped out by everyone at the beginning, he gets beat down, dumped out. It was really good. It was like, oh, thank God, like this guy deserved it. Finally, Tom Hannafin, who's clearly listening to this show, he finally gets it twice tonight. First, he gets the hometown man hate. He finally understands, mentions, and of course, that's just Cody Deaner underneath the mask, and nobody tried to stop him this time. Normally, like Matt Raywald would just be like, what are you talking about? It's not that guy, it's hometown man. No. They just let it rip. It was fantastic. Someone's finally agreeing with me. That, and then they both buried Daniel Spencer in the main event, which, by the way, fantastic. 2 points to the not to the referees, negative 20 points to the referees, 2 points to the commentary team. They did it right. Ryan Nemeth being a little shit throughout this entire battle royal was also very fun. And it was a good ending with Lang Lee and Mance Warner rounding out the field and finishing off the match. That was a good little battle royal. Nothing special, but clearly Mance getting the last entry, Lang Lee getting the first. That's newsworthy going into Bound for Glory.
Yeah, you have to consider Mance Warner a favorite now, coming in last. I like that. Well, usually with this qualifying matchup, or to decide who's first and last, I remember last year at least they did like a multi-man matchup. They didn't do a battle royal, because I remember AJ Francis won the last spot, and I think he beat Sami Callihan, if I'm not mistaken, to get the last spot in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. So I like the fact that they did a battle royal, because it was more of like a proper preview of the actual matchup that you're going to see at Bound for Glory. And I think that, Mance Warner getting the win, that makes sense. Lang Lee, it gives her some adversity, and I think that her winning could potentially open the door for her to have a couple of different options, like whether it's for the Knockouts World Championship or for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, I don't expect much for Lang Lee, to be honest. I think they put together the tag team, and they're just gonna They're gonna the Angel Warriors will find their way to the tag team titles.
They're gonna win the tag team titles. Everyone wins the tag team titles.
It's basically a rite of passage in TNA. You get the tag team titles. They're gonna beat.
If you're a tag team for long enough, you will win the tag team titles.
Yeah, that's the trick. You got to last long enough because not everyone lasts long enough. But then after you win, you then lose the titles and you break up and you feud.
So true.
This is what happens. They mentioned the Hall of Fame announcements for Bound for Glory. Mickie James is going in, as are the beautiful people, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky. Big impact, no pun intended, on TNA. Very happy to see definitely Mickie James, who's always had a major play in major space in TNA and in Impact Wrestling, all the way up to the last rodeo, which ended so poorly, and she deserved so much more. But regardless, Mickie James getting in there, and the beautiful people as well, who were big proponents of the Knockouts division during their time. Nice to see them get their flowers. Your thoughts on the announcements this week?
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you really think about Mickie James' career. You can make the argument that maybe her run in TNA was actually better than WWE, because in a way, despite her legacy in WWE being unquestionable, she was never really given the opportunity to be the number one diva, the number one women's wrestler in that company, despite holding the title 6 times, despite all the memorable programs and all the memorable matches she was given. She was always kind of shunned and never given that spotlight. And I think in TNA, when she went over in the 2010, she was able to get that, and she was kind of viewed as a big star. And then I think that she could really solidify that there's an argument that her run in TNA was better than the WWE run. It was when she came back in the 2020s with the last rodeo, with the rivalry with Deonna Purrazzo. I think those two things alone really kind of like cemented that she's one of the greatest TNA knockouts of all time. And the beautiful people, man, they're so important to the history. Like, when you talk about the beginning stages of the Knockouts division, everybody will always, put the spotlight and praise Gail Kim and Awesome Khan for good reason, because that rivalry and those two women and what they were able to accomplish together and separately really built the foundation for what became the TNA Knockouts division, for the legacy that it made, and their impact on, pun intended, impact on women's wrestling in North America, which doesn't really kind of translate to WWE until like 8 years later, and you need the Ronda Rouseys of the world to do that. But you needed that in the 2000s, especially the late 2000s, when it was pretty dire in WWE, Gail Kim and Awesome Khan. But a very important, component of that Knockouts division at that time was the beautiful people, because you needed to also bring that sports entertainment factor. And, the fact that they were able to use their sex appeal, able to use their charisma, their chemistry with one another, their chemistry with the other ladies in that division, and what they were able to, with the act, able to kind of put someone on a pedestal like a Madison Rayne and kind of make her a star. Like, they just kind of put her into the act, and then she was able to flourish and have a legacy that's of her own in the TNA Knockouts division. So the beautiful people as an act is one of the best things that TNA has ever created. So definitely 3 worthy people for the Hall of Fame this year.
I'll add in, I agree with you that Mickie James, her TNA run may have been better than her WWE run. There are a lot of reasons to believe that, and I think if you go back and you watch her body of work in TNA, it's 100% there. The only other person that you can really say that about, as much as she's been in the news, or at least on the social news, is Gail Kim, who we're not going to get into Gail now. We're talking about Gail from a TNA standpoint. She is another person who absolutely had a much stronger career going through TNA than she did her WWE run. So again, all 3 women very well warranting of the TNA Hall of Fame. Looking forward to watching that. It's usually on the pre-show for Bound for Glory. So if you are going to be watching the free portion of the show, assuming that's the way they do it, I do recommend watching them, because the speeches will be a lot of fun. These 3 women definitely know how to tell a story and cut a promo. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
like,
should be very fun.
Cyclops Better Than Wolverine sends a super chat saying, "Why y'all not doing the show in Team TNA shirts on? Hey, if they pay me, or if you guys pay me, a crisp $35, I will buy the shirt. Actually, it's got to be like 50 because YouTube takes 30% of the super chat. Anyway, or you can donate to Humper Chat. Go to humperchats.com, give us the money there, or you can do it here. I don't care. Just go ahead and do it. Leave a thumbs up while you're at it. The Santana package is great. I don't want to go too far into it. All I need to say is it's a shame it didn't happen in July when they also played the damn message from Mike's father. But, you know, Bound for Glory is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Cyclops better than Wolverine adding, never forget Mickey died in canon by train. She didn't die. She came right back to life.
Exactly. She eventually came back to life. It was just a minor accident.
That's right. One of two people who got away with it. Her and Eric Young.
I thought the Santana package was very well done. Everything they do character-wise with Santana, it just works. It adds to, you know, the connection that he has created with the fans, and it makes you more invested in what's next for him. All of that to say, my issue with this, my nitpick about this, why did TNA book their two top matches as being like it should have been in New York, and it's not in New York? Like, it feels like their top two matches should be in New York, because that seems to be where Santana should win the TNA World Championship, and where the Dudleys and the Hardys should have a tables match, considering that the whole thing is about the first tables match that they had in New York. So it seems like you kind of blew your load on New York a little early.
This is one thing people are going to do, is blow their loads on New York.
This is true. I'm from New York.
I don't know. I listen. I don't know if you used to watch this show. Remember Rosie O'Donnell had a talk show?
I think so.
And Rosie O'Donnell had a talk show. This is going somewhere, I promise.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. Because Max was on.
Yeah, so, but this isn't the Max story. It's actually a different story. She was obsessed with Tom Cruise. I think this is before she like came out as well. She had this ungodly obsession with Tom Cruise, and she found a song from like the 50s, and it had a line that said, "Tommy, can you hear me?" And whenever she would try to pray to the gods of Tom Cruise, she would hit the button and the song would play, "Tommy, can you hear me?" Every time we talk about creative in this company and Tommy Dreamer, I just want to have that stupid Rosie O'Donnell, "Tommy, can you hear me?" button. And every time I think about it, every time I'm like, I should probably get the stupid button, because now it's all I can think about.
Do it.
No, I don't want to
motivate you.
I don't want to
motivate you to do it.
I don't need Tommy to have the time of day. If Tommy listens to this show, In the Weeds is better than Busted Open. Final negotiation. It is better. Go check it out on Fightful Overbooked, 10 a.m. Eastern. Myself, Jeremy Lambert, sometimes SC3, talk about wrestling, talk about everything but wrestling, because let's face it, it's a morning show. We don't do anything seriously. Tomorrow, I was going between whether or not I do a AEW bacon belt to commemorate the Bacon Brawl, or do I do something else that NXT related to how much money they allegedly don't make. We're just going to talk about AJ Styles teasing retirement for the 20th time. Tom, can you hear me?
2026. It's over.
Sure.
TNA,
sure.
It's over. You got your one appearance. Y'all not getting a match.
It's so funny. Jeremy and I talked about it on the show. Like, you think he's going to have a match at Bound for Glory? And he's like, no, he'll be on the Australia card. And we were like, maybe. And then all of a sudden they did the whole, like, nobody likes me, nobody cares about me promo. Somebody's trying to hold me back. And I was like, so you think maybe? And we were both like, nah. And then they ended up doing the John Cena announcement. And we're like, well, no, he's definitely not working Bound for Glory. Good for AJ. He deserves to work. John Cena.
Never working down for Glory, guys. It's over. Y'all got your one appearance. Y'all got a video call a couple of years ago. Then y'all got an actual in-person appearance. You don't get higher than that. That's the highest premium package WWE got for y'all. That's it.
Yeah, this is the on location AJ Styles package.
Yeah, that's the on location. AJ get to do did a fan meet and greet? Did an endorsement for an up-and-coming TNA star? Oh, man.
Do you remember when TNA when they were Impact, when they would get cameos putting over Impact from like different celebrities. Do you remember this?
Yeah,
And they would keep
I
the
do.
cameo logo on the screen as if they didn't just pay for it. Oh, God bless
Oh
this.
man, why you couldn't remove the logo?
You just think, just stretch it out a little bit more. Just get rid of the. Anyway, time to talk about the final negotiation for less time than they spent talking about the final negotiation.
Do we have to?
No, because you know what? For a negotiation, this is just two teams jerking each other off for 20 minutes. There was no reason.
You're the greatest of all time. Well, we
No,
need
you're
you
the-
to prove that we're the greatest of all time. So you're saying that you need us? And we're saying that we need you to prove ourselves as the greatest of all time. We're the two goats. One goat will have to stand. Well, let me have a conversation about it. Let me think. The answer is no. 25 years ago, I cut this same promo. 25 years later, and 6 weeks ago, I cut this same promo again. 25 seconds ago, I started the same promo again. And that was when 25 years ago, the Dudleys and the Hardy. And I said Dudleys. I meant Dudleys. Team 3D anyway. Team 3D and the Hardys, they faced in the first ever tables match. That's our match. And we lost you in our hometown of New York City. And we've held on to that for a very long time. So if we're going to do this, we're going to repeat the same things we've said for the past 20 minutes. Hardys versus Dudleys. Oh, no, I meant Team 3D. Hardys versus Team 3D. Bound for Glory. TNA World Tag Team Champion. Oh, yeah, we're putting the World Tag Team titles on the line. I thought most of us already, as fans, assumed the World Tag Team titles were on the line, but they needed to have a negotiation to put the World Tag Team titles on the line. That's the only way the Dudleys will come and put their legacy on the line. Greatest of all time, TNA World Tag Team titles in a tables match. Back in New York City. I mean Lowell, Massachusetts.
In the long shadows of Boston. The 45-minute drive shadows of Boston. That was it. Started off as tag team titles versus handshakes. That was the initial negotiation. And then I love that the crowd is chanting TLC. And I'm like, they're not going to give you that. You don't want that.
They're not doing that. That's why Devon just put a cold bucket of water on that.
Well, that's what Devon does. Basically, they're just like, we need to beat you. But meanwhile, it's like, well, y'all beat each other senseless in the 90s. Like, y'all traded wins in TNA and in WWE. Like, why are we pretending like, the Hardys never beat Team 3D or the Dudley Boys for 20 years, and now we gotta, like, that's not the story. And the story of, oh, we had a tables match at the Rumble and we lost is like, well, not much better. It's
like, y'all had y'all lost the tables match. I'm pretty sure y'all had another tables match with them. Y'all probably won. Like, exactly, come on. It. Like, that's how things were booked back then. You probably beat them 101 times. I remember you beat them at Survivor Series 2001. Was that not enough?
It's never enough. It's never enough for these people. So the most egregious part of this entire 20-minute segment, I have to say, because I love to harp on production, they're doing the two shots across the ring, the Hardys on one side, the Dudleys on the other. The Dudleys are in perfect, crystal clear HD television, and for some reason the Hardys are just out of focus, and it's driving me up the wall as I'm watching, and I just can't watch this. They eventually
really pissed you off.
It really pissed me off. They were the live, was it the week after the live episode? The color grading on it, the white balance was so bad. All three cameras, different color grades. Whoever did the show did it on some sort of weird, they just screwed it up. And I think TNA tried to blame Access for it, except Access doesn't show it on Rogers Sportsnet here in Canada. Access doesn't They don't upload it to the TNA YouTube channel to show for the world.
Well, Joel, that wasn't their fault though. Come on.
Oh, it's everyone's fault but theirs.
Hey, they learned from Paul Levesque. If all else failed, blame someone else.
Just pass the buck. So it's a tables match of the tag titles at Bound for Glory, except instead of signing for it, they shake on it because
rip that contract up. Let's just shake on it.
It's going to be the main event. It's going to be the main event of the show.
I mean, after this 20-minute segment, like what else is going to be the main event?
So the TNA World Title match is being contested under NXT television. That's all it is, and it's all it's going to be.
Okay, so like, I have a question for everybody. Do these old fucks think they're cool?
You bet they do. Look at them.
Or do they realize how uncool they truly are? And that this is not like the reason why the Hardys are this big draw and have led to this renaissance for TNA is because they're the exception to the rule. They're the bit of nostalgia that kind of every promotion needs. When you add more to that, that is literally a bad indictment of your tag team division. And the fact that you mentioned two of your tag teams, that immediately made me question, like, why aren't the Rascalz getting a shot at the tag team titles at Bound for Glory? Why aren't the System getting a shot at the tag team titles at Bound for Glory? Why do I have to watch the Hardys versus the Dudleys in 2025? Like and it's the fact that y'all did this before. Like y'all is it already being booked by dumbass WWE, who just gave us a 2025 opener to a PLE that was a exact poor excuse for a replica of a 2014 main event of SummerSlam? That's what they gave us at WrestlePalooza with Brock and Cena. And y'all are giving us a poor excuse for TNA in 2014, who gave us the Hardys and the Dudleys and the American Wolves. I was there in the Hammerstein Ballroom when y'all faced like 1,600 times within 3 days of tapings. Like, why do I want to see it 11 years later with more bumps on y'all body when y'all are slower? When y'all are less entertaining, when y'all are less cool. This was fun for a bit, like the opening 5 minutes when they're joking around like, oh, how are you even alive, Jeff? And stuff like that. That was fun. Once it went over the 6-7 minute mark, I was like, what are we still doing out here? Why are y'all just repeating yourself? How many times do I need to hear greatest of all time? Greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. I swear I have to watch SmackDown tomorrow with John Cena. Jesus.
You want to know when this thing fell off a cliff? It's when Jeff Hardy answered, I'm a born-again Christian. And then we all had to listen to him praise Jesus, and we said, not now, buddy, not now. No, time and a place, Jeff. Time and a place. Oh, dude. You know what it was? They know the Hardys are their bread and butter. We've talked about this. They have 3 breads with butter. The Hardys and Joe Henry. No one's debating that. The Hardys and the Dudleys, the Team 3D is a nostalgia match that they are absolutely going to think is making the show. And at the time I was like, okay, you do it. It's fine. It's a retirement match. We'll find a way to make it entertaining. It's cool. Go have at it. When you add the tag team titles, that's where I draw the line, because the tag team titles are supposed to be the be all end all of your tag division. And you had the opportunity to have the Nemeths just win them back before they go to Canada, which is going to, by the way, be the tapings that lead into Bound for Glory. So there is no Team 3D or Hardys on the next 2-3 weeks of tapings, or 2-3 weeks of show.
This did feel like the go home segment.
This was the go home segment because they don't have anything else. And they can't do anything else. So instead of having the Nemeths win and then do some sort of cool tag team match for the Nemeths for the tag titles at Bound for Glory and do Team 3D versus the Hardys, we're just having everything be the Hardys and the Dudleys for the tag titles. And it's a tables match. And the 3 of... One tag team is still active, very active, and doing a good job with what they're doing. The other side has a sometimes wrestler who is more known for spouting his mouth off on a show than anything else right now, and had a great comeback with TNA in 2023. In 2023, when he was doing stuff with Josh Alexander, I gave it shit at first, and then I saw what he was doing, and I said, okay, this is good. He's working to his strengths, and he's doing a good program with Josh. I put it over, and I would continue to put that over. Then they did the busted open match with Tommy, and it was like, well, now we overstayed a lot.
Jumped the shark.
Yeah, they just went out. They went overboard. But you have your fourth man in the match, who does not wrestle, who claims that he's taking bumps at his wrestling school and that he's totally fine now and he's going to be okay for the match. This match needs to be like Janela and Sabu from Spring Break, where the only way it's going to be at all okay, at all entertaining, is if you have a lot of BS and rub-a-dub. Yes. Bring in Rhino, bring in Spike, bring in whoever. I don't care. Bring in everyone from your past.
Mara Sade is going to play Lita.
There you go. Mara Sade plays Lita. Who's going to play Rhino?
Rhino come in. He can do that. They'll get two Canadians and they'll dress them up like Edge and Christian.
Oh, they'll have Cardona and Myers dress up.
Oh, that makes perfect. Yeah, that works. That definitely works.
They'll do some BS. And like, again, if you make it entertaining, then the match is fine. But the fact that it's for the tag titles is, to me, was the bridge too far. That's the part where I'm like, we don't need to do it this way. We're going to do it.
I understand from both perspectives. I understand why you feel that way as like the person who's like the TNA fan watching it, but I also understand why TNA did what they did. Because I'll be honest with you, putting the titles on the Nemesis, once you said that, I was like, nah, I'm not interested. Yeah, just keep the titles in this match. If that's the alternative, if that's the other option, then yeah, just keep the titles in the Hardys and Dudleys. That's the bigger tag team matchup anyway. So like, yeah, it should be in this matchup if the alternative is the Nemesis. I mean,
it was the Nemesis taking the titles off because they had the rematch.
I know why you said the Nemesis. I know it wasn't because you're a big fan of them. I know it was because that was the most logical and option that was right there. But yeah, that's the alternative. No, just keep the titles in this matchup. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't need it to be 20-minute segments and all of that. But now that we've talked it over, and now I understand this is the go home segment. Now I understand why in their minds they needed 20 minutes to do this.
It's all they had. And now we're going to have to wait for, I don't know. Matt Hardy's going to have to carry this whole thing on his own for the next 3 weeks.
Well, hopefully they were smart enough to do some type of like sit down interviews with Team 3D, because you can get through like
so funny. you gonna be at the Comedy Cellar later tonight?
I'm hoping that this place knows what the hell they're doing and actually did some sit down interviews with some content that you can use on the following weeks with Team 3D as you had them here for this taping. I'm hoping.
This TNA Rewind is brought to you by Bioflex. Get ready for your Bound for Glory main event with Bioflex.
Oh, they're totally going to do that.
The year 2013, the last time the Hardys and the Dudleys had a match in TNA. That's the extent of the interviews you're going to see. Flashbacks.
That's terribly disappointing.
Well, sometimes that's just the name of the game. Slack Ops is better than Wolverine sends a super chat saying, because those cruiser weights can either cruise or wait when big dogs like the Dudleys wrestle, brother.
Get up.
Drop the most. I used to love that theme song. And that's the best part. They're going to take off their boots on Bound for Glory and be like, that's it. We're done. And then the Saudis are going to be like, see you.
Like, come on. Come on. We heard Adam Copeland. We saw a scripted segment on Dynamite, and Adam Copeland's going to be free to come to WWE.
Oh,
we can do TLC.
the most obnoxious thing I saw. People trying to oh, they're gonna let him go work the WWE show with John Cena. I was like, no, they're not. Just because
they're not.
The moves were that was the tribute. That was the thank you, John. That was as best as you can get.
Because you see, Joel, WWE has been so nice to AEW, so AEW is gonna do them this
best
favor.
Friends. That's right. Yeah. I love it. Listen, if there's one thing that wrestling fans are gonna do is cope. Mr. Anderson, Ken Anderson, and Steve Maclin defeat Jake Something and Frankie Kazarian in our main event. I really loved that they couldn't do the Ken Anderson mic thing because the building is so old that they don't have something that they can send down from the rooftop to meet Mr. Anderson. So instead, Steve Maclin gets a chair, stands up on it, and pretends to do it. I thought that was very cute and stupid. Ken Anderson had fun with this. You can tell he was having a good time. Allegedly, like this was he kayfabed his kids and like did this match without telling them that he was working. So because it was the first time his kids were going to see him work on TV, and I thought that's really sweet. If that's the case, it's really really good stuff. The match is good. Like the match is fine. Anderson, he has a wrestling school in Minneapolis. So I don't doubt that he had people to work with, that he continues to get into the ring. I'm not expecting him to put on like a 30-minute banger solo, but doing a tag team match like this, perfectly serviceable. Anderson looked like he's having a blast. He's keeping up. He's not getting blown up. And it's amazing to think, SP3, that Ken Anderson and Frankie Kazarian are 1 year apart in age. Anderson's 49 to Kazarian's 48.
Kazarian is a medical miracle.
A beast.
This was a solid, pretty fun matchup. I thought that all four guys worked well. I thought Anderson, he did look good for a guy that hasn't had the in-ring reps that you would usually get from someone that's going to be on TNA Impact. But for someone who's at an extended age and out of their prime, I thought he looked really good. You could tell that he is seasoned and still getting in the ring because of how experienced and his timing was throughout the matchup. I thought that Kazarian was good here as well, working with him and being the bump guy to make him look good throughout the matchup. Steve Maclin was there to kind of be the glue guy throughout this matchup and have those kind of like hard-hitting moments with Jake Something. So everybody fit in very well. They gave it a lot of time too. This match, like they were talking about the match about to start like at the half an hour left in the show. So they gave it plenty of time. It was the big focus of the show. So good stuff all around.
Daniel Spencer getting buried by commentary once again. Perfect. Doesn't know how tags are made. Really appreciate that. At the end, Maclin hits caught in the crosshairs. Something blocks the KIA. So Anderson throws Something into Kazarian. He hits the mic check on Something. Maclin hits the KIA on Kazarian, and he gets the win. And yes, that look on your face is exactly what you're thinking. Frankie Kazarian is winning the international title tomorrow night.
Yeah, but like you didn't have to make it that obvious.
Yeah, yes, you did. If there's one thing, what does TNA do? Every single show that they put on, every special, every pay-per-view, what is one guarantee, SP3?
It's going to be a title change?
There will be one title change. And looking at this card,
this is it.
This is
the one. Yeah, this is the one title change.
You might get the Knockouts World Tag Titles changing hands.
Yes, because they've been building to that for like 3 months now, so it's about damn time.
They can't keep Honey Dick in the inspiration, which would be hilarious, but I don't think he could do it.
We'll see. See what happens here.
This is not the first match in this feud for Maclin and Kazarian. This is a long-term feud. This is something that should play out over multiple months because it's the way that it feels. It's the way they're telling the story. They got it to Victory Road, and I was like, wait a minute, this was supposed to be big. And to me, if you're going to do one, it feels like Frankie will steal the victory, and then Maclin will go on the chase to Bound for Glory and do something of some sort of plunder match. I hope. Or just some sort of match with a stipulation. If something helps Kazarian win the title, that's another part to the story you could tell. It feels like there's more because Frankie working on the army story of Steve Maclin, it's more than just a one shot deal to me. It's not a baddie of the month. This is very much like it's like Maclin with EY. When they did the Maclin and Eric Young story, it was over multiple months. It had a reason. Now there's just a title involved, so at least you had another piece of hardware between the two that they can play with. So I see Kazarian winning, and I just see Maclin eventually regaining it or going after the world title if, let's say Trick is still the champion going into Bound for Glory, which he very well might be.
He might be right, folks. You got me so worried. I think you might be right though.
If that
that would be so dumb. If they did that, like TNA has like sold up worst promotion of the year, right?
There are other reasons to call it that.
Well, yeah, but
we'll see. Victory Road is tomorrow night. We're not doing a post show because the show starts at 9 Eastern, and I'm going to bed at a reasonable hour. Who do you think wins the three-way between Cedric Alexander, Trey Miguel, and Zachary Wentz?
I'm gonna go with Cedric Alexander.
I'm on with that. The Nemesis take on Matt Cardona and the Hometown Man. I think Cardona and the Hometown Man win.
Oh my god!
They pin Ryan.
The Nemesis suck. Yeah, I'll go with Cardona and Hometown Man.
Eric Young versus Joe Hendry. I think Eric Young's going to actually win this one. I feel like you're going to say otherwise.
Yeah, I'll go with the WWE superstar, Joe Hendry.
Bobby Roode's going to come and fight Eric Young. Steve Maclin, Frankie Kazarian. I've already told y'all I think Frankie's going to win the title. You?
Yeah, I think after the result of this main event, I was so confused. I was like, yeah, you kind of just gave away that Frankie's winning this title tomorrow. So, yeah, he wins.
It feels that way. And I think this might be the main event at this point. Because that was the other thing. What is the main event of this show? If it's Santana and Ridge, then you're going to have Trick show up.
Yeah.
Or they'll do something. They'll do another. It'll be an NXT invasion, except then they have to rush back to Florida afterwards. So who knows? The Elegances take on the Inspiration for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships.
The Inspiration.
I think that might be it. Moose and Mustafa Ali. Feels like Ali's going to win this match.
Yeah, the heel should always win in an advantage match. Do not let Triple H make you think otherwise.
That's just what we do. Leon Slater, might agree.
Leon Slater.
Yes, I think this is a great run for him to be on and take it into the next year. He should be. This should be a long-standing championship reign for Leon Slater. Typically, you're first. You don't look at it that way. Most don't get it this way. But Leon has been on such a rise, and he has been a memorable wrestler on TNA. There's no reason not to have him keep this X Division title for a while.
Most definitely.
Santana and Ridge Holland.
Well, of course, Ridge Holland is not going to win. He's been downgraded so many times, man. I've never seen somebody get on the main roster, then he got injured, had a couple of matches on NXT, then he went back to the main roster, then he gets pushed on the main roster with what's the name of his group with Sheamus in them? The
Brawling Brutes.
The Brawling Brutes. That horrible name.
Remember Butch?
That horrible name. Then he gets downgraded to NXT. Then he gets downgraded to WWE Evolve. Now he got downgraded again to TNA. Damn, man. Santana wins.
Santana wins. Okay, we'll see. You're probably right. Actually, I'm looking for my thing. Hold on. Where is it? Where's my Butch banner? Someone has taken my Butch banner. Here it is.
Butch.
Yeah. When this was announced, first thing I did. Make one of these, baby.
Butchamania.
Love that. God, I'm good at Photoshop 3 years ago. Anyway, I think Santana wins. The only way that he loses is if Trick costs him the match. Again, the story has been Trick told Ridge, you take out Santana, you get a TNA world title match. And there's something there. I like that. I like that, at least trying to explain why Ridge is there. Evolve superstar Ridge Holland, which I know you're a big fan of Evolve, and Ridge has been on Evolve, hasn't he?
C-suite, y'all. He's a veteran of the C-suite. He's been in the C-suite a few times.
There we go. All right, this show has gone on long enough. Tomorrow is Victory Road. Not doing a post show, but go watch the show if you so choose. It's for free on TNA Plus if you use one of their billions of promo codes that they give away every month. All you got to do is check that out if you'd like. SP3, plug away, would you?
Oh, thanks for having me. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel with our NJPW podcast, where we will be previewing Destruction in Kobe, which is this coming Sunday. It will be myself, Sanal, and Jay News breaking down all the matches and giving our predictions for that card. Saturday, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. We'll be talking about this week in wrestling, everything that's going on with Gail Kim, Masha Slamovich, the fallout from AEW All Out and WrestlePalooza. We talk about it all. Myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and the True Jaw Josh. So join us on Saturday, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. We got a review for No Mercy on Sunday, probably a review for New Japan on Monday. Go and subscribe to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. And I shall be back here next week because this will be we are on a residency at SP3 here on the TNA post show until Cresta is back from her sabbatical. Excuse me. I know how to say it.
The SP300 arena?
Yes.
For three
This
more
actually sounds really good.
Well, I'm in the weeds it's a 5-day-a-week show. So you know what? In the Weeds is on Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. It doesn't matter who the hosts are because we're all good. It's either myself, SP3, Jeremy Lambert, some functional version of these three people host the show 10 a.m. Eastern over on our
one of us.
Channel.
You're on the even days. I'm on the odd days.
Some days things get switched up. So somewhere between the three of us, there's one of us always there. Or two of us always there. Regardless, that's on our sister channel. That's Fightful Overbooked. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know who he is. He plugged everything. You know where I am. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, waiting.
It was announced as we were live here. Mayu Iwatani will face Io Sky in Japan at Marigold Grand Destiny on Sunday, October 26th. So next month.
Okay, but what does that have to do with the Knockouts World Championship?
I'm talking about two wrestlers who are way better than anybody that we talked about on today's show. Mayu Iwatani and Io Sky, Marigold. It has been announced. It's going down. Io Sky back in Japan to have another Instant Classic Match of the Year candidate. Mayu Iwatani going to have another Match of the Year candidate. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, but what about Zaya Brookside? Where's she in all this?
They'll send Saya. WWE will buy TNA and Marigold soon enough. Don't worry.
That's true. They're going to do it. Don't you worry. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we are out of here. See you in the next one. Cheers.